I don't really want an intro because just for the podcast now. I don't want to do like, hey, it's welcome back. I want it just to be much more conversational.
Yeah, conversational wise, yeah.
So it's rolling now. So we'll go from here.
Hit me.
And it's been because you're what I'd classify as like an Instagram friend to me.
Yeah,
no,
100%.
We met on Instagram. Did someone introduce us? I don't know how I found you.
I think through Mark.
Yeah, probably.
I think Mark was working with you, and then Mark started sharing some of your stuff. And then I think I saw some of your stuff, and I was like,
that guy's really good looking.
No, no. Do you know what? I actually saw it, and I was like, this boy knows what he's talking about. And I'm bare into like, you know, when someone starts talking in terms that I don't understand, I'm like, hold on a minute, bro. This guy talking some madness. So I think I followed you, and then you followed me back, and then we started messaging through there. There's a Mark's the guy that kind of
the catalyst.
Yeah.
So we've known each other 3 years ish. 3 years.
Yeah, about 3 years, maybe
2.5
more, bro.
I think. I remember. For some reason, I have a really clear memory of that book there, What the Foot. I was reading it, I posted it on my story, and you were like, oh, how's this book? Because you're always like curious about knowledge. You're like, oh, how's that book? You know, do you recommend it? I was like, that was a grind phase for me though. I remember being at my kitchen table being like, oh yeah, cool, this guy's pretty cool. I'm still working my way through it 3 years later.
How many years have been still ain't finished the book, bro?
No, there's been books in between, but it's a hard read. You know, sometimes when you get a book and you're like, okay, each page is taking me significantly longer.
Because you're trying to register what is actually.
I'm like, what's going on here? And it's all the same. This is the thing with fitness. It's all the same kind of concepts, but he's got his language to explain it. So I'm like, okay, so how can I adapt what he's saying to what I already know and try and find that middle point? You find out always with fitness. Like I'll hear all this complicated shit about rib cage compression and expansion and pelvic, and I'm like. And then at the end of the day, once you break it down, you realize, oh, okay, they're talking about strengthening the rhomboids to improve posture. It's like, oh, we're back to the basics again. Okay. But it's just a fancy way of saying it.
Did you work with Pep?
I know of the guy, because do you know Victor?
Yes.
Yeah. So Victor and Pep are both calisthenics guys, right? So I saw them work with each other. Why? Why do you ask?
No, do you know why? Because Pep loves books like that. I think he was reading it. He's so knowledgeable, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, he's so clever. I don't know if Victor might be the same, but
yeah, Victor's very much the same.
Yeah, like Pep was unbelievably knowledgeable. Sometimes he told me things, and I'd be like, pfft.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a tough battle to find, like, okay, how applicable is this to what I actually do? Because I always, when I'm reading stuff and digesting information, think, okay, but how am I going to use this? How am I going to apply this to my client on Monday? How am I going to use this strategy? Rather than like, I'm not interested in knowing stuff for the sake of stuff. Like, quiz me on the Krebs cycle. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm not going to bother learning the Krebs cycle and seeing how many ATP molecules I'm going to get. Exactly. I'm going to teach someone. So you need to stop eating fucking burgers and probably eat a few more salads and drink a little bit more.
Exactly.
They knew that already. They don't need to know shit about the Krebs cycle to figure that shit out. But it's like the hard bit, especially with diet in particular, is that psychological aspect, and getting people on board and getting them to buy in.
Exactly. No, 100%.
Is that, what would you say is like the biggest struggle with people that you work with at the moment? Like, who's the main people you work with first and foremost? Or is it quite diverse?
To be honest with you, most of my clientele, like 90%, are women that are struggling with weight loss.
Okay.
I do have a few guys that I've got. I think I've got about 9 or 10 guys that I coach, but they're not weight loss. They're just like muscle building.
Okay.
So quite diverse with who I coach. But my main clientele is women with just problems with weight loss and stuff.
So what are the biggest problems they face generally, would you say?
Should I tell you one of the mental aspect of for example, going out for a meal and having like a meal that they're not supposed to, for example, psychologically think that they're not supposed to be having. And from there, just going spiraling down to eating shit throughout the week.
Right.
I reckon like the mental side of things is so vital. It's ridiculous, man. Like some people, it's funny, you're not going to believe me when I tell you this. Bro, I've had clients that have left without telling me anything, blocking me because they just kept eating shit like on a weekend and couldn't put it back together. I've had people like that. So I think that's one of the main things, just mindset wise. Mindset has been the biggest issue I think inside the clients I've coached.
So there's a couple of ways to approach that, isn't there? You can either go, okay, what systems and processes can I put in to kind of help this person adhere? And then there's the other option, is like, this person needs to just harden the fuck up and kind of, toughen up and be less mentally fragile. So you can go one of two ways. It's like, take it on a case by case basis, I guess. But
no, 100%. But this may be something that's like, some people may not like it, but I personally feel as a coach, there's people that you cannot change regardless. That's what I personally think. There's a lot of people that I've coached. Maybe that's because they're just not compatible with me. That could be. But there's people that whatever you do, Harry, whatever you do, bro, whatever you do, like, it just doesn't work. They just, I don't know whether, if it could be, I'm not the best coach in the world. Maybe it's my methods. I don't know. But there's people that you will coach and you think, you probably had people that you've coached over your whole PTing career, and you've been like, nothing works.
So, like, with that, I think it comes down to values, and these people tend to live in what I'd describe as like a fantasy. So they think they want to lose weight, but they don't want to take the actions that is going to make you lose weight, because they value other things over losing weight. So essentially, a lot of the time, I find the biggest problem to be is like the going out, the social aspect of things. And people really value that social time, be it with their friends, their partner, their family, way over getting in shape, which I don't judge people for. I don't think that they're wrong for doing that, as long as they're making some kind of conscious effort to better their health. But then from the like weight loss aspect, that's just not important to them. And they'll say it is, and they'll tell themselves it is, and they'll repeat, I really want to lose weight, I really want to lose weight, I really want to lose weight. Well, no, you don't, because if you did, you would have.
Exactly, 100%.
And I'm a firm believer in the kind of saying, where there's a will, there's a way, because the will just needs to be strong enough. 100%. For example, training, I've talked about it a few times now on the podcast. Training's so important to me. I almost bitched out on my cardio today because I had a really busy day. I was like, it's really cold outside. I've had a busy day. I've got Ali coming in at 2. I'm going to have to shower. I'm going to have to rush my food, Every excuse under the sun. But training being my number one value in life meant, no, you're gonna get this training session done. And that's where it comes to. And I'm not, again, I want to iterate the fact that I'm not saying that's how everyone should be. I'm just saying that when it is that important to you, there's that old Eric Thomas speech where it's like, when you want to succeed as much as you want to breathe when you're underwater. I always found that so corny until this year. I'm like, yeah, I get it.
Bro, Eric Thomas is a G. Bro.
He is the OG of motivational
Bro,
speaking,
no one
right?
talked to him about motivational stuff. Eric Thomas, I'm not going to lie, bro. I listen to him today. I listen to him most days, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I work well when I listen to stuff like sometimes when I'm training in the gym.
So you just have it on in the background, or?
Bro, sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I'll put my AirPods when I'm training in the gym.
Yeah.
And I'll have Eric Thomas's motivation. I don't know. It may seem cheesy for some people, like you say.
I
But
know, 100%.
for me, it works. And it's funny you say that about your values with training. Like, I've been training for 11 days. I've done training back to back, bro. No rest. Today's my rest day. Bro, I'm itching to train. I want to, especially when I come in here, I'm looking around. I'm like, nah, bro. I want to do some arms.
You're teasing me.
Do some lats. I want to really engage my lats with them hooks. But today I'm going to rest. I'm holding myself back, bro.
No, I mean, how do you feel about like motivational video? Because I've always had like a bit of a back and forth relationship with them. Like, I'll go through phases where I'm like, yeah, let me watch this Jordan Peterson video, and then I'm gonna watch this Eric Thomas video, and I'll wake up and I'll watch them, and then I'll go through phases where I'm like, what am I actually listening to here? Like, these are just people saying words. It's really corny. It's really cheesy. Like, I don't know if you get that same kind of feeling.
I think you go through stages, innit? You're like, but I think overall when I listen to them, I'm like, yeah, man, this guy's right. This guy's right. What am I doing with myself? Then you start contemplating your own life. You start looking at yourself in the mirror and think, shit, man, I should be doing much, much more.
Yeah.
Because I always, I was just speaking earlier about, you always want to learn, innit? And you're so into your learning, education, and learning more. Like, I feel like I'm like that as well. And sometimes, like, I won't be doing any learning, and I'll be coaching clients, and I'll be like, man, I don't know enough,
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm bumping these people. Do you know what I mean? Because you feel like you don't know enough and these people are paying you this money.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good thing to have.
But the more I spend time around really intelligent people, particularly in this industry, the more I realize, so even the top people who are educating people, the top educators in this industry feel the exact same way. Yeah. Like I can't remember. I remember doing a Prescript, I think it was level 2 course, and the first thing he says, Jordan Shallow, the first thing he says is, by the way, guys, we know like 10, maybe 20% of everything there is to know about the human body. Of that 10 or 20%, we are about to discuss and argue the like 0.1%. So really, this is all fun to talk about, but let's consider how important this is. And let's actually think about moving the major rocks that are going to make a big difference, which is, okay, let's pick a good couple of exercises, make sure people do it consistently, and that will get the results for the most part. Exactly. And then we end up as nerds and always having that feeling of wanting to learn more. Go into that minutia and
100%. I think, but educating yourself is so important. I think like with your coaching, I think you're a firm believer in simple exercises, doing them effectively, progressively overloading. I've never seen you do anything crazy, to be honest with you, on your Instagram. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I like experimenting. That's for sure. Like if I think, how could this work, and playing around with the machine, and that's the beauty of having my own space. I can dick around without people looking at me like, what the fuck's he doing?
Exactly. Yeah.
But the more educated I've got with the exercises, it's almost the simpler it's got. But what's become more important is choosing the right exercises. So I might choose an exercise for someone. They can't do it, and instead of shouting chest up, bum out, chest up 1,000 times, I'm like, okay, I chose the wrong exercise, so I'll choose another exercise. And then guess what? I don't have to do any cueing whatsoever. I'm like, I feel guilty sometimes. I feel like I'm working less hard now than I was before, but all that's happening is I'm just making more intelligent exercise choices. Bro. And you can do this exercise. So not only are they doing an exercise that's going to be more effective for them, psychologically they're winning because their coach isn't shouting at them for the last minute of the set to do X, Y, and Z. Bro, they feel much more competent.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that, because even like working, when I was on the gym floor working, I would see like coaches be trying to make their clients do something. Their client just don't get it. Look, I'm sorry, but your client don't get it. It's fine. It happens. I don't get some exercises, and I don't feel some exercises. For example, like a barbell back squat, of course, like looks good. It's look great, but for sometimes some people just don't. They don't get it. It doesn't work for them. Let's switch to a goblet squat and then see how they do.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And it's just about having that humility and being like, I was wrong. And I'll say that to my client all the time. I chose the wrong exercise, my bad. Just so also that takes the pressure off them. They're not like, I'm shit, I couldn't do the exercise.
Exactly.
No, my fault, I chose the wrong exercise, which is true, by the way. It was my fault, I chose the wrong exercise. Let's do something else. You can do this one. Good, I chose a better exercise for you and you can do it. And then they build confidence in that and competence.
No, 100%, man. Because I remember I would have this tall client of mine, bro. Like, I'm talking, this guy was 2 meters.
Like 2 of you then?
Bro, I had this tall client, and this was obviously when I was just new in the industry. Like, I didn't know much, do you know what I mean? You know how it is coming out of like your level 3. You think you know everything.
Dude, I fucking sucked.
Yeah, I was so shit.
I sucked.
I'm getting this guy to do a conventional deadlift. This guy can't even bend down and make like, what was I thinking? But I think you just slowly, you just learn, innit? You just learn. I think the most learning happens on the gym floor. Just thinking, just common sense, innit? Thinking, like, seeing your client and you think, this ain't working for this client.
Dude, that's so true. Like, what you just said is so true, that like the most learning happens on the gym floor. Like, I was so grateful when I started. I was working in a studio, so I didn't have to worry about picking up clients or anything. I just had to worry about, here's the individual in front of me, let me train them. And that probably first 2 years of my career ended up racking up a couple of 1,000 hours of PT sessions, which is like invaluable, because before that, like you say, you think you know everything. And like we talked about before, when you think you know everything, you're fucking done. You're finished.
Finished.
So yeah, you think you know everything. I was really into like bodybuilding. I'd watch 20 Jay Cutler videos. This dude's Mr. Olympia, you know? I'm going to train Helen, who's 35, and turn her into fucking Ronnie Coleman.
Bro.
First exercise, we got to go heavy on the back squats.
Yeah.
Let's go heavy on the back squats. Oh, I've got knee pain. Maybe we'll go lighter on the back squats, but we're still sticking with.
It'll get stronger. It'll get stronger.
Sticking with the fucking back squats. Like, okay, week 6, she still can't back squat properly. Her knee's still hurting her. Okay, what the fuck do I do now?
Bro, I'm so happy you said that, because I think a lot of people still do that, bro. Like, they'll go on YouTube. Like, I think guys do it more than women. I think guys probably watch a lot of bodybuilder videos, go into the gym and think, oh my God, Ronnie Coleman used to do this. I'm doing Ronnie Coleman's program. They find the Ronnie Coleman program on the internet and they go into the gym and do it and think they're going to get the same results.
Yeah, no, it's because we come in from like a more, every guy's kind of dream physique is, I need more muscle, I need to get leaner.
Yeah.
Who are the best at that in the world? Bodybuilders. Okay. This guy is the biggest and the leanest in the world, so he must be doing the right thing.
Exactly.
Whereas women, I guess the content they consume is less extreme, isn't it?
Yeah.
Their ideals of a body are much more like realistic, if you like. They're less bikini models and more kind of fashion models or things like that. More of a normal physique, if you like. Of
course, yeah, 100%.
So then those people that are producing content that have those physiques don't lift like bodybuilders, right?
Yeah.
But I think there's pros and cons. I think there's pros to like that bodybuilding background because it does teach you certain things, certain principles. I think most importantly, it teaches you to get people or yourself to work fucking hard. Like,
100%.
Okay, let's actually, you can do 8 squats, cool, but let's actually pick up a weight that stimulates you and actually challenges you, because not only is that going to give you better results, but even as a mental thing, like, I think that's why you'll see quite a lot of business success with bodybuilders and in fitness in general, is because you are constantly training that mental muscle of, okay, I'm going to go to failure and really push myself here.
Exactly, yeah.
I remember going to, I used to train at King's Gym. I don't know if you've heard of it. The
but
one in Croydon. As soon as it opened, I was there first week of opening. I remember James Hollingshead, if you know him, he's a bodybuilder. He was working behind the desk at the time.
I think someone touched up on his Instagram the other day. Is he a good apparently he's a really good coach, apparently.
James Hollingshead? I don't know if he does any coaching, but I think he's full-time bodybuilding now.
Is he? I think he was doing some coaching.
He might have. But yeah, so I remember walking up in the morning sometimes to King's Gym, and outside I'm like seeing fucking Porsche, Range Rover Evoque. Like I'm like, these are some nice ass cars, and like in the middle of Croydon, and you go in and there's this person with his personal trainer and stuff like that, and like these are really successful people. And I do just think like the gym is so much more than just the gym and looking better, and it is that transferability into the mindset of being a high performer, being successful. Because it's like, okay, I'm willing to turn up every single day or turn up on a consistent basis, push myself hard, and do it enough times that I get the results of a good physique. So it's like delayed gratification as well. And that's 3 really key ingredients of just success in general, is working hard, turning up, and doing it for a long enough time.
100%, bro.
And that's what you're talking about, like with your Instagram success. Like, we'll call it success for now. Obviously, it's a smaller scale than a lot of people. But I'd say, first of all, congratulations. Like, because I've seen you've been grinding, like even since I first started following you, you were grinding back then. Yeah. And now it is starting to you feel like it's starting to really kind of pay dividends now.
I feel like I'm starting to find my feet, 100%, bro. Because at first it's like, not gonna lie, at first I was posting, looking at other people's posting, trying to be like them and posting like them. Yeah. And it's a bit of a trial and error. Like, I was doing stuff, thought it was good, I thought it was funny, or I thought it was educational, but then now looking at my posts now, Harry, I would never post any of them videos right now.
Yeah, but that's just because you've raised your standards, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same as what you were saying before, like, as you started as a PT, you were bad. And I was bad. Everyone's probably pretty bad when they start off. But then you refine and you get better and you up your standards. And you up your standards, you up your standards, and that's what happens.
I think you do your learning, you learn a bit more, do you know what I mean? You see, because with my Instagram, rather than, I like to mix it up with a bit of educational and a bit of humour, my personality, who I am. Because I'm sure you meet me and you're like, yeah, he's the same person on Instagram.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Like,
you know what I mean?
Quite high energy, making jokes. Like, yeah, I definitely.
Yeah, and I think
very much actually, very much.
Yeah, and I think you gotta be yourself. Like I said to you earlier.
Yeah,
you just gotta be yourself, man.
Yeah.
If you're not funny and you're not that funny, don't be that person. You know what I mean? Like I was taking most of like the good educators on Instagram, or one of the ones that who are like biomechanic experts, etc. Like the people we've spoke about today. They're not trying to be funny, bro. They're just trying to educate and do what they do. Do you know what I mean?
So what's the plan now for you? I guess moving forward is just keep churning out that content. Is it?
Yeah, I think I'm just looking to just pump out content right now. Just literally just give as much value as possible.
Well, I think you're on a bit of a roll at the moment as well, right?
Yeah.
Like the reels really seem to be. I was going on your page because I can swipe right and you can see like how many views each reels get. Yeah. I was like, okay, consistently maybe like a couple thousand, but then there'll be one that's like 25,000 or one that's like 50,000. It's like, okay. Yeah, this is working for you right now.
I done one the other day about how influencers make up workouts.
Okay,
I don't even see that one. That one got 24,000, I think, views. Yeah,
what's your thing with you coming at the influencers this year?
Yeah. No, do you know
coming at them viciously,
bro? Do you know what it is? I think I'm trying to put it in a way that's not aggressive. Yeah. I'm just like messing about, saying, look, you shouldn't be doing this, but you should be doing this. Yeah. You know how it is. Like, not gonna lie, I was that person making my client do like banded crab walks 24/7 and all the banded hip thrust, making them do it 24/7 and doing lots of kickbacks and thinking that was gonna work for my client. I was that person, but I've realized that over like learning, like, yes, they're a good little accessory, but they're not what you should be doing to like for hypertrophy especially. Do you know what I mean? So I think I see some people in my gym that do it and I'm like, oh my god. It's funny you say that because apparently there's someone in our gym that has been watching my stuff and she apparently hates me so much because she does all the stuff that I take the piss out of. So I walked into the gym the other day, into the leg room, and I had my camera with me and she had her camera and I walked in and she walked straight back out. No, I didn't even know, and then some girls like, hey, she don't like you.
Not personal.
But it's not personal. I'm not attacking no one. I don't even know who she is. Do you know what I mean? But I'm just trying to educate people and give people value, to be honest. That's the main thing I'm trying to. I'm not trying to like mess up people's income and trying to mess up their thing. Yeah, of course. I'm just trying to give people value and teach people. I'm not trying to do anything else.
Maybe she'll watch that video and she'll be like, do you know what?
Maybe, do you know what? He's right, man. And he's a good coach. Shit.
I'll sign up.
Yeah,
sign up to Big Ali PT coaching.
But like you say, I think my followers are going up, my audience is growing. It's taken like it's getting quicker and quicker now, my followers, for some reason. I don't know if it is after, I don't know, it might be the algorithms as well on Instagram. Or if a certain amount of followers, maybe does the algorithm go up? I don't know how it works.
A good friend of mine, Andrea, my barber actually, he's really blown up this year and he said exactly the same. Like, it was a grind to get to like 8,000-9,000, and as soon as that, he's on, I think every day he's like, I refresh and I've got like another 1,000 followers, and it's just mental. So it definitely favors that, but with your bigger audience comes the trolls. I saw the other day.
My days, bro, you know people, they ain't got nothing better to do, you know.
It's crazy, man.
Because
it's crazy.
This guy that started commenting on all my videos. I clicked on his name and I clicked on his profile. Obviously, got no profile picture, no posts. He's not being followed by anyone. He's following 10 people. So someone definitely made that.
You made the cut, man. You made the cut of his 10 followers.
Do you know what I mean, man? You follow 10 people, appreciate it. So he just started commenting at me, but I don't know if you know Paul Moore.
Familiar, yeah.
Paul Moore, he's just like a mindset, does all like mindset, not PT, he's just like does mindset stuff. Right. And I remember one of his posts, someone asked him, how do you deal with like haters? He's like, I just told him I love them and I'm here for them if they ever want to talk. So when I messaged the guy and I said, I love you and I'm here, didn't reply.
Oh, really?
Yeah, didn't reply. I remember I'd done that to one person one time as well, commenting on one of my posts about a lat pull down, saying, oh, you should be swinging or something because you have to lift as much weight as possible to stimulate the muscle. And I was like, bro, I love you. I'm here if you want to talk. Because he said to me, you look like you've never grazed the insides of a gym before.
He took it personal.
Yeah, I laughed though. I gave it to him. That was good banter.
Dude, like, but you can take it. You're like, nothing. You know, you probably brought up with all that banter and stuff like that. But there's definitely people out there that get that comment like, fuck, I'm nothing. I'm going to shut my Instagram down. 100%. Can't deal with this anymore. It's like, it's quite upsetting. But yeah, I mean, like you say, that usually, like, this is the thing I don't get is like, I hardly ever comment on anything. And And if I ever comment on anything, it's usually my friend and I'm like bigging them up or something like that. I'm usually commenting something positive. It's very rare that I'll comment on anything. Weirdest ones I find is YouTube videos, because I don't think I've ever left a YouTube comment since I turned like 10 years old. And it's like people will leave YouTube comments saying, "Oh, you're shit." I'm like, what?
YouTube comments are the funniest though.
Yeah, no, to be fair, after I finish a YouTube video, every single time I'm scrolling down. There's no way I'm not reading the comments. Like, I'll read the top 5. Okay, cool, next video.
No, I think it comes with the territory though, bro. At the end of the day, if you're willing to put yourself out there and put videos out there, people are gonna...
Well, exactly. I mean, you are quite, well, I guess, fortunate in the sense that you've grown up with people, or you know people who are, even on a bigger scale, getting trolled even harder.
They get trolled,
and they're probably looking at you like, bro, I wish I was only getting one troll comment, because 50% of my audience is now full of trolls.
They get inboxes.
Yeah, I bet. I wouldn't be surprised if they were getting mail at this stage. Like,
bro, oh my god, I forgot. I should have told you this. I had a troll one time message me in my DMs, bro. This guy that I don't know, bro. This guy's just some bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Messaged me saying, "Hey mate, I've seen your videos. You look like someone I'd just love to punch in the face." What do you say to that, bro?
Here's my address. That's what you say. Call him out. That's what I was like. I wish I was that guy where I could just be like, drop the address. I'll be there. Here's the location.
Yeah, I'm
Come
like,
round.
Why, bro? What have I done? You don't know me, bro. What? And I think I like the message, then block them. What can you say to me?
You don't need that stressing. So you're a block guy. You're like, I'm gonna block you.
Someone remixed one of my reels the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone called Joanne. Did you do a course when you was at Fitness First called Faster?
No, I didn't know.
Okay, there was a course they were doing called Faster, right? And they were sending coaches there. It's called Faster Function, about training, etc. Okay. Bro, the things they were teaching us, madness, bro.
Suspect.
Bro, madness, suspect. I'm talking like, for example, talking about like butt winks and saying that regardless of how much weight you got, you can butt wink. It's fine to butt wink. It would not be detrimental to your lower back and lumbar, etc. And I was like, what are we doing here, bro? Like, these people are teaching, because I know more than him.
When was this?
Bro, this was probably about 2 years into when I started at Fitness First. I don't know, maybe they might have put it across to you, like maybe you didn't go. I don't know. It was nothing serious.
No, I've never had any offer for education when I was at Fitness
anyway,
First.
it was there, bro. And this girl called Joanne does all the faster stuff. And
right, okay.
She's got this little mat, and she does all these exercises with. Have you seen one of them shakers with like they got weight in the middle, but you hold it at two ends and you shake. It's a weight. And you can move it to side to side.
Okay,
like
yeah, shake weight, yeah, okay.
And she remixed my one of my Stairmaster videos. You know when I've seen that one? Where I'm doing kickbacks at the Stairmaster. And I'm like, look, if you want to build glutes, like there's so many better alternatives than that. That's not going to build your glutes, like hip thrust, etc., reverse deficit lunges, etc. And she remixed it, saying you haven't given good alternatives for glute growth.
But what did she want?
That's what I thought. I was going to comment, but then I thought, nah, I'm just going to report this video. So it took it down. Instagram took it down straight away.
Wait, what is she? So what is sorry, I don't know what a remix reel is.
So remix reel, as in, when you remix something, bro, your video will be half, and then their face will be half, so they can just comment on the video.
So she's there filming herself,
and I'm talking, and I'm saying, if you want to improve your, like, grow your glutes, you can do like hip thrust, reverse deficit lunges, and she's like.
So what she's making that face?
Yeah, she's making
crap
exercise.
So what are her alternatives?
She
didn't give any.
No. The thing is, I wanted to go into that conversation, but it's not worth going into conversation with people like that, because any PT, like any PT knows that a hip thrust is one of the best glute exercises out there. And she's just saying that, and then she commented saying, you haven't given good alternatives. She commented on she follows me, by the way. I don't follow her back, bro.
Yeah.
She's like, you haven't given good alternatives for glute growth, and if someone wants to do kickbacks, they can do kickbacks if they want to. But I didn't say you need to stop. I said
it's not like the best.
It's not the best for glute growth. Like if you want to do glute growth.
Yeah, but what I think is good that you did offer in that post is like you're not being definite. And I think that's where people get it wrong. Is like, this is the best. No, this is the best. You said, do the kickbacks on the Stairmaster if you like, you might feel it, blah, 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 blah. Here's what I would do instead as a coach, rather than I don't like when people take the approach of like, no, crap exercise, get that out of your program. No, can't do that, because it's so negative in the sense, which is why I've seen like content creators where they'll shit on like Soul Cycle or something like that, or they'll shit on Peloton, or they'll shit on this exercise, and it's like, well, what if people's goal is not necessarily to be optimal? And that's something we need to consider a lot of the time as well, is like optimality isn't always the goal. And I know even for myself, like even as someone who prioritize optimality quite highly, I'm not willing to sacrifice that enjoyment in the pursuit of optimality.
100%.
Like I'd said to you earlier, like I'm training twice a day. It's probably too much. Like realistically, I should probably be resting more.
Yes.
But I prefer training like that, and I feel happier doing that. So,
no one can say anything to you.
Exactly.
Do what you want to do. If 100%. You feel good, bro,
100%.
Do what you want to do.
But this is why I feel like the same way with everything. Like, and that's why I liked your approach with that post. Is you weren't, you're having a little jest about it and a little bit of banter about it, and then you said, but it's not optimal, rather than being like, this is shit. You're a stupid idiot for doing this. I just don't think we need that kind of negativity, because people are scared enough to go in the gym anyway, I'd say, particularly obviously females, but also guys. I've had plenty of guys that are like, actually often even more so guys, because they're the ones that are looking to get into the weights area, and they see people pressing, and it's a lot more of a judgmental area. So we need less judgment, don't we? I'd say when it comes to fitness.
I think 100%. At the end of the day, bro, like I was walking in the park yesterday with my missus, and she was like, someone was doing, when they got the park gyms when they and someone's literally on one of the machines, and the swinging machine, and she's just doing this with her leg, and she said to me, she said, babe, like, would that do anything for her? I said, it probably won't do anything for her when it comes to hypertrophy, that will do nothing for her. But is she moving? Yeah, she's moving. 100%. Her joints are moving. 100%. Do you know what I mean? She's getting some good fluid going through the joints. She's getting some good range of motion there through her joints. Like, maybe that's what she wants. She don't want to do anything else.
No, I'm doing a course at the moment. I'm not going to name it just because I'm about to shit on the tutors. But the tutors were like, one of the tutors in particular was saying, oh, I can't believe that they put TVs in gyms in front of the cardio. And that's just, you should be really feeling the muscle. They put it in front of the machines as well. You should be feeling the muscle whilst you're doing it. I'm like, if a motherfucker is only going to go to the gym so that he can sit on the chest press machine and watch NBC News, or I don't know why I said NBC, but BBC News or whatever, whilst he's doing it, I'd much rather he do that and actually go to the gym than not go to the gym at all. So I don't know why you're getting all up in your feelings about like, oh, he needs to be taking it more seriously. It's like, get over it. Like, it's not that deep.
No, 100%. I think if someone like that's going to the gym because they're just going to the gym because they just want to move. Like when I was working on a gym floor, there'd be people you go up to trying to speak to them to get them as a client, for example. Some of them would be like, Ali, do you know what? I'm sorry, but I'm not really into fitness that much, man. I just come in here to enjoy myself, watch TV. I don't know, just mess around, do a bit of exercise. All for it. Good luck to you. But like you say, if your goal, you have bigger like aspirations for your body, you want to really improve, then yes, there's other things you should be doing. But if, like you say, if you're going into a gym and you want to watch TV and you want to move a little bit, so be it.
But this is when it comes, what we were talking about earlier, when it comes back down is values. And then if we're going into a more like micro kind of value system of, okay, my training, what do I value most in my training? Do I value enjoyment, number one? This is something I'll go through with clients, is like, okay, what do you value most when it comes to this training program? Is it the results? Is it how optimal your program is? Is it the enjoyment? Is it how it makes you feel? You know, all of these are the factors you need to prioritize. And if your number one thing when it comes to training is enjoyment, and that's what's going to get you consistent, then I'd much rather you go on the Stairmaster and do your kickbacks 3 times a week than not come in and not do your deficit split squats. You know what I mean?
100% I'm with you on that.
So we're looking at the macro. We need to look at the macro, and it's again going back to what we said in our conversation earlier, is like, let's maybe get less in our feelings about the minutia and look at the bigger picture. And I did a blog post about this, as like reframing like being active and what being active means, because I feel like particularly with New Year's resolutioners right now, they're version of themselves and that they're envisioning is going to the gym like 5 times a week and putting in that work. And it's like, for most of you guys don't need to do that. Maybe try and fit in 1 or 2 strength training sessions, great. But try and get outside more, try and do more walking, maybe take up a sport. Cool. By the time you're 50, or let's say this person's 30 something, by the time you're 50, you're going to be way healthier than the fact that you skipped the gym for the last 5 years because you didn't want to go. Exactly. And we need to reframe it. This is why I like the word of like being active rather than being like, I don't know, going to the gym or something like that. It's like the gym is one component we have to use. And I'm sure you probably do like step tracking and stuff with your clients. It's why I love it as well, is because it's like, oh, here's a way we can get the results you want without you having to spend more time in the gym on a treadmill or something like that. It's time you can fit in more easily within your day. It might be a 20-minute walk in the afternoon, it might be a 20-minute walk in the morning, it might be the fact that you get off a tube stop earlier and you do an extra 5 minutes that 100%. Makes all the difference, that's gonna keep you healthier throughout the day. So we need to look at a bigger picture. I
think a lot of people, like you say as well, they feel like when it comes to weight loss perspective, they're like, I need to train, but they don't realize that you say that your knee is placed it's a bigger component to your weight loss than your training is.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost funny how, I almost feel like I'm not selling personal training very well here, but how much of a small component the training side is when it comes to weight loss.
Of course.
Obviously, you should be training for other reasons, I think, and not necessarily weight loss. So good reasons to train. Good joint health when you get older. Like, it's one of the things I always think about my parents in this situation. I'm like, I wish you would do 1 or 2 strength training sessions a week. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. A couple of glute bridges, maybe a couple of lunges, and maybe some kind of upper body movement. And guess what? The difference that'll make when you get into your 70s, 80s, like, is night and day. So I look at my gran now and she's hobbling around. She's like, I need a new hip and stuff like that. I'm like, she is on the list for a new hip as well, and I'm sure that'll help. But I just do think, like, imagine if you had trained smartly even 5 years ago. If you'd started doing it, where you'd be now, you might even be stronger than you were 5 years prior to that. Which is why I think our generation is going to be less like that, touch wood.
100%. I think
because we are much more health conscious, fitness conscious.
Fitness is such a big thing though, isn't it?
How many people do you know that don't go to the gym now?
I know, exactly.
It's probably less than people that do go, right?
It's nice that now someone that don't go to the gym, you're like, why don't you go to the gym? Do you know what I mean? It's a nice in a way, obviously not in a when there's 2 ways of looking at that, of course, but sometimes when you see some of your mates and you're like, bro, why don't you go to the gym? Like, you feel like to yourself, like, you should be going to the gym. Everyone goes to the gym.
But what I respect is people who are able to stay healthy without the gym as well. And that's where I'm like, because you've either got some deeply ingrained habits from childhood that have been passed down by your parents, which in which case kudos, or you're making a conscious effort to stay active outside of the gym. And it's one thing I had over the festive period as well. I wasn't training because I was down in Wales visiting my family, and me and my sister of our family are very conscious about staying active. So she's lost, I think, like 10 plus kilos this year. Like, she's done really well, amazing job. And now it's just like a conscious part. It's like, I've sat down for like 4 or 5 hours today, not really done anything. What will actually make me feel good is going for a walk and getting 30 to 60 minutes of activity in. I'm not even going to call it exercise, I'm going to call it activity. And it's more so, I think, that's what we should be looking to get from training.
100%, bro.
Rather than being like, I need to lose weight, which is I think is a good appropriate time of year to talk about this as well, because it is like resolution season, which is all about weight loss. I think it's something, I can't remember the stats, but it's a very high percentage. I think it's about 50% of people make some kind of health, fitness, exercise, diet related New Year's resolution.
All the news on the apps and stuff, it's all about weight loss, bro.
Yeah. And you get all those adverts now. Everyone's pushing it. It's like, now's the season. We better capitalize.
But a lot of people right now are going crazy. Trying to train 7 days a week, 6 days a week, and then that's when you burn out, innit?
See you in February. Not.
Exactly. You burn out, and that's why all these gyms are so busy right now, because everyone's got these New Year resolutions. But how many of them are actually going to stick to it? Well, why do you think they don't stick to it? What's your thought process behind this? Why do you think a lot of people start? Like, what do you think the main thing is why people stop?
With the risk of sounding like a broken record is values. I think they don't value it enough. They've had this reflective period where they think, oh yeah, do you know what? I've indulged over Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get back into it, and this is gonna be the year. And it's like, well, if it wasn't last year, and it wasn't the year before, and it wasn't the year before, it's probably not going to be this year either.
Exactly.
And that's not me to try and discourage anyone, but it's just like, let's play the law of odds. Like, chances are this year isn't the one. And the thing is, there's always going to be challenges in kind of a weight loss journey and stuff like that. You know, January is not going to be challenge free. You know, you might be going out on, if you're in the dating scene, you might be going out on a date. You might be going out for a friend's birthday. Oh, February's come around. Oh, it's my friend's birthday. You know, there's always these things that come up throughout the year. It's not just like December. So if you're waiting throughout the whole of December, I guess it's like another excuse, and then you're just that kind of person.
100%.
But with that being said, I'm not a massive fan of this like stigmatization of New Year's resolutions, because
yeah, of course.
Listen, they've been given a bad rap because they're generally not very successful. But I don't think that means we should not be reflective during that period. Like, I always find it very reflective, and I always find like as soon as January hits, I can kind of put my foot down on the gas pedal and go a bit harder.
Oh, 100%.
So I don't think we should stigmatize that either. But yeah, like going back to your original question, it's probably too much, too hard, too fast, mostly for a lot of people, and they don't actually want to lose weight that much. They value other things over losing weight. That's more so what I'm saying. What about you? What do you think?
No, 100%. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you on that. The values, man. The value. Like you say, if you haven't done it for the last 4 years, what's changed now that you're gonna do it now? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, unless something has changed.
Unless something's happened, and health problems.
Yeah,
maybe COVID might have made people like.
Yeah, I definitely think it has. I definitely think it has to some extent. Yeah, I can see that in my family as well. Do you have any resolutions this year? Or any kind of goals, or some things you've been thinking about over the last week or so?
Just one of my goals is to speak at IFS, International Fitness Summit.
Yeah? Okay.
That's one of my goals this year, to be on a panel at least.
Yeah.
That's one of my goals. I'll push. I'll do whatever I can.
When is it?
It's in August.
Okay.
So I still got a while. Bro.
You got time.
I got time. So hopefully
that's exciting.
That will be a really big thing for me if I done. I got to keep consistent. I feel I'm on the right track, hopefully, but just got to keep consistent with that. What about you?
I guess take on, obviously I took on a big thing at the end of this year, I'm basically trying to make this thrive, get in best shape I can.
This place is mad though. Shape. It's really nice.
It's
man.
Cool, man.
Honestly,
it's really
bro,
cool.
it's
really good. Whenever I feel kind of awkward talking about it, because obviously I saw lots of people over Christmas and they always like, congratulations, it's so, that. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. But deep down, like, it's so expensive.
I can imagine. No, I can imagine what you mean, boys.
But it's so liberating and freeing, completely working for yourself, because obviously you do when you're working at Fitness First, it's self-employed and stuff like that, but this is like different level, you know. I always say, I joke with my clients sometimes, like, one day I could just come in stoned and, who have I got to answer to? Exactly. You. That's about it. If you don't like that. So theoretically, right, let's say I start running my business as like, I am the high PT or whatever, and I just smoke joints all the time. I could do that.
You could.
Nobody's going to fire me for doing that.
It's your place now, bro.
I'm not going to. I don't really like marijuana that much, but I think, that's that liberation, that freedom to do whatever I want has definitely made me feel a lot more like, 2022, give less fucks. Like, do what you want to do, kind of be passionate about it, still trying to provide value, obviously. I'm not just like, 2 more, I'm just gonna nap on this sofa. Like, I'm still, I'm very passionate about building my business and my brand and stuff like that. But that freedom to do what you want is it's scary on the one side, but it's also very liberating.
But you're someone that likes, like I said in the start, you love like trying to build yourself up, education wise, and I think you're quite passionate about your job, man. That's why I've always like I always said to Mark when Mark was like, that boy, man, he loves learning. You can tell. Because hold on a minute, you like you said we spoke about earlier. You went to America.
Yeah, I went to the
to
US
do some learning.
Yeah,
What did you do there? What was it? What was the course about?
It's called RTS, Resistance Training Specialist. So unfortunately, there was another 2 parts I was supposed to go back for, but I don't know when I'm going to go back to it. So it's over in Miami, and it's very like mechanics based course. And what I'll always say about the course is probably the best course I've done, not because of the content, but because it was the most thought-provoking course and probably game-changing course for me in terms of like the way you think about exercise. So I think there's actually, I feel bad saying this, but I think there's better courses that teaching you generally about exercise. Okay. But in terms of the way it changed my mindset of how I approached exercise and how I made it fit each individual and things like that is unbelievable. And I do hope to go back and do the other 2 parts at some stage when all this shit is over and I've got some more money to spend on flights.
No, 100%.
Rather than bills.
When you couldn't go back because of COVID, didn't it?
Yeah. So I was supposed to go literally the week before we locked down. But yeah, I remember being in the airport and just seeing these people with masks and being like, what are you doing? Like, you guys are deluded. This is shit's going to be done in like a week. And I flew back and I was due to go back the next month. So it still hadn't really caught on yet. So this was still early days when people were wearing a mask in the airport. And it's funny, actually, I had a client like the following week after I came back was like, yeah, I'm going back home. So she's from Switzerland. Yeah. She's like, I'm going back home. I'm like, what? Why? Like, bear in mind, like, we probably had 1 registered case in the UK or something at that stage. He's like, why? He's like, oh yeah, this COVID shit's serious, like my mum told me and I've got to go tonight, like I've got to go immediately, like And lo and behold, like the next week we ended up locking down. So she was right. I remember there like laughing at her like, yeah, you're so dramatic. Like, I can't believe you're doing this. But yeah, it's crazy to even think.
Is there any other courses you wanna? Oh, talking about that, do you know what I bought? I bought do you know the Australian strength coach Sebastian on Instagram?
No.
So he does, the bodybuilder 4. The Ford Johnson, the strongest man in the world. So Sebastian coaches all like the strongest men, like for their deadlifts.
Oh, really?
Stuff like that. So he's their coach.
Okay.
So I've been following him for a while, and I loved his like the way he coaches some of them exercises. And he was going to do a strength seminar in Manchester. Okay. I paid for it.
Yeah.
I think it was like
when was it?
It weren't too expensive when COVID first happened, bro. Okay. I think it was something like $1,000 or $1,500 for like a 2-day seminar.
It's
kind of standard. I booked a hotel, etc., to stay there and go there and literally just like do the seminar. But then it got cancelled because of COVID. Then I don't think he's coming back till later this year. I think.
It's frustrating. I had the same thing happen, and they just ended up refunding everyone. They were supposed to come back, because everything kept changing.
But I do want to do N1's one.
Yeah.
But go to America and do it because they got the practical as well there, don't they?
And the thing is with that, like even on my weekend when I went out to the US, like you just meet so many people and you do connect, and then your connections become worldwide rather than like national. So that's why it's quite fun as well. You do just meet other people, and it's more, it's exciting. It's a holiday as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You put on the business expenses.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then exactly. Yeah, business expenses. I didn't think of that. Hold on a minute. I'm going to America tomorrow.
Go next week. See you later, guys.
Yeah, you can business expense that, can't you?
Yeah, 100%. It's educating.
I always forget about it. I've been doing hell of education this year, boy.
Education in Turkey, education in Italy,
bro. But yeah, I think.
Have you got any travel plans? Because you are mobile, like you're free to go wherever you like. Right?
So over the last 5 months, I've been to Rome, Prague. Where else did I go? Rome, Prague, Paris. Meant to go to Poland just before Christmas. But it got cancelled because of all this new stuff that was going on. So they cancelled it. So at the moment, I haven't got any plans to go away, but I do want to go away maybe for a summer holiday. Definitely this year. I want to go to a beach, bro. Because I didn't go to a beach. I went IB for last year. But I did a sunbathe like that. I went IB for last year with the boys. But I do want to go like somewhere like maybe the Caribbean, bro.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, man. It looks nice, man.
So when you go on these trips, are you working the whole time?
Most times, yeah,
Yeah.
man. It depends, like,
Do you ever do any like, guys, this week I'm off, like?
bro, I know this is probably you as well, bro. It's got to be you as well, bro. I'm always working. My head is like
Yeah.
spin. I'm talking to you right now. I'm thinking of content. I'm thinking. Do you know what I mean, bro? Like, you always think of different ideas of like how you can improve. What type of? I'm thinking of my next post. I'm like,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
can I post, man?
Yeah.
What can I post?
Yeah.
What will be? What can I? What is in it for them?
Yeah.
I watched one of Gary Vee's videos, and he said that he was like,
yeah.
when you're posting on social media, obviously you want to build. What's in it for them?
Yeah, 100%.
Why do they want to?
I
Why
said
do they want
this
to watch
to-
this?
I got a client who's trying to grow their brand a little bit, and I said to her, like, you've got to give them a reason to follow you. If they can't say to their friend, oh, you should really follow this person, because, and they ask why, if they can't answer that question, why should I follow you, then, oh, if it's not, oh, he's funny, oh, he's really educational, oh, he's really smart, oh, he's actually just lives a really interesting life, oh, he's really inspirational. Like, those are the key points you want to hit on. If you can't answer or fulfill at least one of that criteria, you're probably not worth following, right?
100%, I'm with you on that. I think when it comes to our work, I think you never really stop working. Though. I'm always, sometimes in the evening, I have to put my phone down after like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, because clients will be messaging, bro.
100%.
And for some reason, I feel bad of not messaging them back straight away, because I feel like they're paying for my advice, they're paying
get
for
that.
my coaching, but it's not a good way to think. I think
No,
obviously
it's
you got-
definitely not.
definitely not 'cause-
Boundaries.
yeah, they got to know where they stand. I think because if you feel like you have to message them back all the time, they're gonna feel like, hold on a minute, if he doesn't message me back now, what's going on? Why isn't he messaging me? So I think you got to set your boundaries. So I've made a conscious effort this year to try and leave my phone by like 8, 9 o'clock, and then just turn it upside down.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and then just like watch TV,
Yeah,
chill out.
Hit
'Cause
that
you
do
always
not
think-
disturb.
Yeah, bro, and then just like just think about. So I book video shoots every other week with the videographer, and then I'll do planning. So
Oh, shit,
that
I didn't
planning.
know you were doing with the videographer.
Yeah.
All your reels and stuff.
No. So the ones that you see that are very good quality with no, normally the ones I put arrows and do the
Yeah,
lines.
yeah.
Them the ones I film in the gym. Just some.
Okay.
They're ones that I'll be doing something and I'll be like, well, this is quite good.
Oh,
Yo,
right,
film
right,
me.
right,
Let me do
right.
this, and then I'll just post it. But
Okay.
most of the ones are my videographer. He films them,
Ah,
edits them,
okay.
sends them. I post.
I thought you just had a crazy good camera.
No. His camera's sick,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah. So he does them.
So you do that twice a week, did you say?
No, twice a month.
Twice a month.
So I got one on Wednesday with him. So now I'm gonna do. There's a girl in my gym, a nice girl, cool girl. She's gonna come, and I'm just gonna do some coaching videos with her.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah, obviously just like, for example, talking about.
Yeah.
People think progressive overload is just adding more weight. We can progressive overload by time and attention.
Right.
Just literally performing it with her,
Yeah.
showing it with her,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna start doing that now. I think
Yeah,
that'll
no,
be
that's cool.
a lot of value for people because they see themselves in that
Yeah.
position. They're
Yeah,
like, hold
yeah.
a minute, that's quite
Also
good.
positions you more as the coach rather than somebody who just trains. Right?
Same as just talking. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's good to have other people be coaching them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start doing that from Wednesday. I've got to shoot, so I need to prep for that because I haven't got
Fine.
anything prepped for
Yeah.
that.
You've got nothing so far.
No.
How many videos do you usually bang out in that?
Probably 15, bro.
In about an hour or 2 hours or?
Hour.
Oh.
Oh, do you know what? I think the more you get good at the more you post on videos, bro. My videographer's like, man, Ali, sometimes I have people that book in with me. We do a video and it takes me like 4 hours for
Really?
them to, because, bro, in front of camera,
Yeah.
you get a bit like, it's
You
not-
do.
You know what I mean, bro?
yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
easy.
I always, like, my rule is just one take. Like, no matter what, one take. If I can't do it in one take, I'm probably not knowledgeable enough to talk about it. So I'm like, okay, cool, one take it.
That's a good way to
Bang.
look at it, you know?
And then I'll do it. And, there might be times where you stutter on your words or you pause for a second because you're figuring out what you're trying to say. But for me, that adds to the authenticity. And it shows that you're actually talking rather than just like reading off a script, which is why I love the podcast as well, because we haven't done, how long have we done? An hour? We haven't done an hour of scripted stuff. We're just talking and shooting shit. Like, there's no way you could script all that, and that gives you a bit more of your personality, I think. Whereas, because I think what will be interesting as well, how many podcasts have you done by? I've seen you do a couple of podcasts before, no?
5?
Okay.
5, I think.
So I think, but this is why I think podcasts are great, because they give such a more authentic version of yourself. And you're, like I said to you before, you're really authentic in your videos anyway, but it's a minute. It's high pace, it's high energy. Whereas an hour, try and keep up that energy, Whereas this gives you a little bit more like, oh, so this is what he's like when he's more laid back. This is what he's like when he's more upbeat. This is what he's clearly passionate about because he talks faster about and things like that. This is how he reacts to other people. That's another thing that you don't get through video, which is why I find podcasts to be a really interesting format.
No, 100%. I remember when I was doing videos. I just started off then, and Darren and a few of the other boys went into a gym, and I was helping Darren do some videos, and then he was like, "Oh, we're gonna film some content as well." So I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it with you." Yeah. Bro, I froze, bro. Because they had the camera, they're all standing there looking at me. Yeah. I froze. I started questioning myself as a coach. Yeah. I couldn't explain a deadlift, bro.
Dude, it's always harder when other people are there as well, though, right? Because like if I set up the camera and I talk, it's like, yeah, cool, dumb. Whereas I had my friend, I was having him in the video and being like, this is how you do this. Yes. I'm like, even there, I turn the camera on and I'm like, shit, it's not usually this hard to explain it. Like, why am I freezing now?
Even when you do the single leg deadlift.
Yeah.
You love that, innit?
Dude, like this is I reckon I could make like 20 posts all just about that exercise. Like,
it's a good exercise, to be fair.
Freaking brilliant exercise for most people.
Yeah.
So I'll always put that for most people. It's not the best exercise for
it's a good
250-pound bodybuilder.
I know that's something most of your clients do well, though, bro.
That's because I taught them well.
Most of your clients do it well, bro. I'll try to do that myself. I probably wouldn't be able to do it now, to be honest.
But it comes back to what we were talking about before, like regression, progression. If it looks like shit, then I've chosen a version that's too hard. Like there's a whole scale of like, oh, with 2 dowels, like so from the beginning being like, oh, holding 2 poles. Okay, now we're gonna hold 1 pole in the contralateral leg. Okay, now we're gonna hold 1 pole in the ipsilateral leg. Okay, now we're gonna try with no poles. Okay, now we can add one weight in each hand. Now we can add 1 weight in one hand. You know.
See, this is where you're gonna teach me now. What did you say? Ipsilateral.
Ipsilateral. So like, if your Latin's good, it means the same as lateral. So ipsi being like the same as.
Okay.
Lateral side of the leg.
Okay,
lateral side. So the same on the lateral side of the leg, and then contralateral, obviously the opposite of the lateral side. Cool. But what I've always found confusing is why is it not like medial and lateral rather than ipsilateral, contralateral? But
seems clever.
Dude, if you want to sound smart, throw in a couple of ipsilaterals and contralaterals.
I'll be talking like, we're talking like ipsilateral, contralateral, leg press.
Exactly. You just sprinkle in a few of those words to make the people know you've spent a penny or two on education.
Isn't that what it is though? Isn't that what it is though?
Decoration.
Because like, say for example, you put a post and you say, for example, leg press. Okay, sit back into the leg press and push. That seems so shit, doesn't it?
But that's all they need most of the time.
Yeah.
That's all they need most of the time. It doesn't always need to be contralateral, ipsilateral, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to introduce the vocabulary and show that you know what you're talking about. But at the end of the day, I'm like, hold the stick in this hand, lean over a little bit. Cool, great, perfect. 8 reps. Don't need to say anymore.
Don't need to say contralateral.
I don't need to be like really lean into the lateral side of the hip and really try and stretch those external rotators as you come down.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, that would make me sound like a fucking genius, but
it won't help your client.
It's not going to help you, right?
Yeah.
Right, I think we should wrap it up there because we've blabbed on for ages and nobody even listens to this podcast anyway, so
what? No,
let alone an hour.
No.
Yeah, maybe with your 10k followers, since you're an influencer.
I will share it 100%, bro.
The influencer, but I mean, sure, go ahead, plug anything you want.
No, man, don't worry, man. If you want to follow me, Big Ali _PT. But definitely, man, I appreciate you calling me here for this podcast, bro. It's been nice to meet you anyway, bro, properly anyway.
I mean, that's the thing. That's why, again, another thing, like, it just helps me connect with people a lot more. Like you, I had a guy I hadn't seen for ages come in the other day, like, just gets you talking to people and then opens you up to more perspectives as well,
100%,
which is the other thing. But Ali, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Till next time. Till next, because I'm sure we have another hour in us.
Oh no, 100%.
We've got 100%. Lives to live. So
I was gonna film content in here, bro. Time's up, man.
We've got 25 minutes. Let's do it. Let's smash it out.
Bro.
Right.
Thank you, bro.
Peace out.
Oh man.